Bang, Neeves Knives. I'm Jared. My lovely wife Kara is at work, and today we are checking out the Emerson CQC7V. This is my first Emerson on the channel. I've only checked out one other Emerson, which was a Karambit, but this knife is a it's not a full chisel grind because it's not completely flat on this side, but it only has one edge, as you can see. I did get to use and sharpen this knife, so I have quite a bit to say about it. Let's get to it. Okay, so first size comparison really quick. Oh yeah, first off, the information on the website was wrong from the measurements I got. It said it was 8 inches long. I got it at 7¾ and then the blade said 3.3 and I measured it at 3 1/8 inches. So this is the Hinder XM18 3-inch. And then here is a Benchmade Griptilian. Bang. There's a good size comparison. I'll do one more just because everybody knows this knife. Here is the Spyderco PM2 with a serrated blade. And also I want to thank Brandon T. He has a YouTube channel. He's the one who sent me these knives, and I really appreciate it because both of these were my first experiences with these brands, with my first Hinder and my first Emerson. Thank you so much, and go check him out. I will link him below. Okay, so this knife has 154 cm blade steel, G10 steel liners, and it has the wave feature and the thumb disc. As you can see, the thumb disc opening and the wave feature. The wave feature, if you don't know, it's when you have it in your pocket, when you go to pull it out, your pants clips onto this and it opens up. So it'll be like this. So it'll just open right up so you can easily get to your knife as fast as possible. It's faster than even opening an automatic because it's already open when you take it out of your pocket. An automatic, you still have to hit the button. Now I did try that wave feature out multiple times with multiple different clothing, and it worked fantastic every time. This knife has a double detent feature, and I did not take this apart, but I did clean this thing up as much as you possibly can without taking it apart. I would have taken it apart if I hadn't already known what the double detent feature looks like, because I've seen it on other people's channels. And if you want to see what it looks like, Alchemy1 just posted a video of him taking one apart, and he shows the double detent feature. Alchemy1. I'll try to link him below too, just so you know if you want to go look at the double detent feature. Okay, so now I know you guys hear that little tick. I don't feel it, so I'm just saying that right now. You might hear it. I don't feel it in the lock bar whatsoever. And I did clean up this thing. I cleaned up if there was any marker or anything trying to prevent it. This thing's completely dry, and it's just that little tiny, and that's nothing. So that doesn't bother me at all. The edge. Now the blade is 0.125 thick, but behind the edge it's a little thick. It's around 30 thousandths thick, but since it only has half of an edge, this thing goes through material pretty nicely. I do enjoy cutting with this thing. I mean, this thing does go through materials nicely, and it takes a pretty sharp edge. Now I just followed the angle that was on it when I got it. You know, if you would have asked me to lay it back any farther, I would have. But I'll tell you what, this thing took a pretty damn good edge. And, you know, when I got it, I seen a little wear, and I couldn't really strop it out. So I wanted to experience it with a nice, you know, new edge. So hopefully now if there's any wear to it, you should be able just to strop it right out, unless if it takes, you know, enough damage. But yeah, it did take a pretty good edge, and I've used it a little bit, so it's not as fresh as it was, but you know, I'll strap it up and send it back, and it'll be pretty close to the way it was when I got done with it. I think I put a 800 grit finish. Pretty sure that's what I put on here. Yeah, I think it's about 800 grit finish. That's what it looks like, at least. And, you know, like I said, it took a good edge. The 154 cm seemed like it sharpened up really nicely. I didn't have no problems with it. I do like, I mean, this wave feature, I'm not a huge fan of the wave feature, but I did enjoy it on this knife. It worked so good. And then opening and closing this thing, now this thing is frictionless. It is so damn smooth. I actually enjoy slow rolling it. You can thumb flick it, and you can middle finger flick it. But when you middle finger flick it, there's not much room there, so you want to use the bottom of the disc with just a little bit of your skin, and bang. But like I said, you can thumb flick it also. I like slow rolling it because it's so frictionless and it feels so smooth. And if you need to get it out really quick, just do the wave feature coming out of your pocket. Now I do like the access to the lock bar. Great access to the lock bar. And like I said, that little tick you hear is a little bit of lock stick, but I don't feel it. This does have nylon washers, or nylon washers, whatever you want to call it. So that's why it's so smooth. Another thing, even though it has a double detent feature, you don't really feel it. Like in the closed position, look how easily I can just, it's about the same resistance. I mean, I know there's the detent there because it does suck it in and there isn't no detent play, but it easily comes out very, very easily and effortlessly. And I think that's why the wave feature works so good, because when you're pulling out, nothing, like you don't, it's not like you have to like jerk it really hard. You just gotta pull it out and let that hook hit your pants and it's gonna open it right up. So it works really good. Now I do like the ergos too. The ergos are amazing with this thing. It's got a nice full hand that just feels really good. I do feel the clip, but I'm not worried about it. I do have a hand. I can manipulate it in a way to where I don't feel it. It is, like I said, a little thick behind the edge, but I did enjoy using it. The tip's a little thick, but I liked using the secondary tip. Worked really good. Okay, so let's get to some of the things I disliked about it. So one, the fit and finish. Or not even the fit, just the finish. So if you look at the backspacer and a couple other parts I'll show you, it looks like it was done in just a machine shop that's not on a production level. It's it just doesn't look like it was finished very well, and it's like it's almost rounded in some areas more than the other. And then you'll notice like back here, this the liner with the G10 doesn't match up with the other side. And you know, the fact that the backspacer doesn't sit flush, I'm not talking about that. That I don't really care about. It's just how it looks on the edges where it does meet up with the liners. Like it's off from one side to the other. And like this side's a little different than this side, you know, by a little bit. And then like little parts like this, like you see right here, it almost looks like jimping. That's just machining, but you don't see it on the other side. But then you do see it a little bit up there, like you see how you see machine marks. So stuff like that, you know, I consider that a bad. The ramp and the jimping does work good, just so you know. I forgot to mention that. And even though I do love the size of the stop pin is nice and massive. I think that's awesome. But look at right here, that's where it hits. See that little line right there? That's where the stop pin hits. And look where it's at. So if I drop this off a ladder, bam, it can hit that, damage that. And then I wonder if it will create lock slip or lock failure or anything like that. I don't know, but I don't like the thought of it getting damaged if I dropped a work knife. Because to me, this is a work / self-defense knife. Tactical knife. I mean, that's what this is. So this thing should be able to get thrown across the room and be just fine. Another bad thing is what was it? Sorry. Oh, the price. The price is like $220. I'm pretty sure that's right. If I'm wrong, I'll write it on the screen right now, but I'm pretty sure it was $220. Now, to me, that's a little pricey for something like this. Now, this is made in the U.S., and I do think it is well built, aside from the finish issues, you know, and then a couple other things I'm going to mention here in a second. But it's still a little pricey to me, even for a USA-made knife. And, you know, it has 154 CM, which 154 CM is a good steel, a good all-around steel. But still, that's a little pricey for 154 CM G10 and steel liners, even if it is in the US. Okay, so especially with what's coming out today. So, oh yeah, you know, you have a bunch hanging out your pocket. You know, I know people are going to look at that, but that's a good thing on this knife, because you want good purchase with your hand when it's coming out of your pocket and it clips this this wave feature. You want good purchase there, so that's actually a good thing on this knife. Now, if it didn't have the wave feature, I definitely would want the pocket clip raised up a little bit more. And also there's one other bad thing. Okay, so it has no blade play, but right here, listen. Now, I don't feel it slipping at all, but I can hear it trying to slip. I mean, there's a little bit of lock slip. So, now if I smack it open really hard, it's a lot less, but I can muscle it. Now, if I just grab it like this and just go, like how a lot of channels do, they just grab it and they go like that, no play. I mean, this thing's locked up like a rock. But now if I attempt it, I do hear a little tiny tick. Does that make me feel any less secure? No, not really. I'm kind of muscling it, and I feel like it would do good under all conditions except for hitting the back of the blade. And in that sense, I think it would fail. It might not, you know, really. It might be just ticking into a better position. I don't know, you know. I don't feel like it'll close on my hand going like that. I can hear that tick, but that's it. The double detent being soft, that can be considered maybe a bad thing, but since it does have the double detent feature, you can strengthen one of the detents pretty easily too. If you take it apart, you can just bend it a slight bit and it will definitely increase the detent strength. What was the last thing? There was one more thing. Oh yeah, it's thick behind the edge. It's thick behind the edge, and even though this thing cuts really good with half of an edge, it still is something that, you know, I feel like it would have been better. You know, okay, it got very sharp, right? Very sharp, and it goes through materials really nicely at 30 thousandths. Imagine it between 20 and 25 thousandths. I feel like it'd be even better and still be strong, durable, and a great work knife, you know, with that thickness. Now, they could have even went thinner than that, but I'm just saying, for a knife for prying and stuff like that, and something maybe you want a little edge thickness, 20 to 25 thousandths would have been plenty. This is 30 thousandths. I feel like they could have went a little thinner with that, and should have. Other than that, you know, like when you do sharpen something like this, what's really cool about it is, one, it gets really sharp and goes through materials nicely, and also you don't have to sharpen one side or one part, and then you just knock the edge off the other side. So it does make it ease of sharpening. You don't have to match up bevels or anything like that. But you know, and that is a good thing, I guess. But yeah, that's the video, guys. Thank you, Brandon, for letting me check this thing out. I did enjoy it, and I actually do really like this knife. I don't know if it's worth the price, but great knife still. Peace.